Why can't an AI agent just do this for me so you don't have to fill out a blank form all the time?
Exactly. Because,
Mm,
one thing when we are talking about AI, the key point is data is the key point. If you give the right data, it will give you the right output. If you give a Gomi data, Gomi will come out. So
ah,
Gomi, Gomi out, trash in, trash out. That's the rule.
I know.
So, like you mentioned, I have the right data source. If I can point out, then I can ask the AI agent to fill everything for me. Then I can
Yes.
say that confirm from me. Maybe even the AI can read it loud and say that maybe I cannot look into my PC. It can read and that form one, it's a name. I written as TB, these are spells. All these things we can do with
Yeah.
AI right now. And it is happening. It is happening. I feel it's
Mm,
happening in Japan right now. A lot of areas
okay.
where, like, for example, the resume filtering or maybe the application form, initial level checking, all things are happening with AI.
May I have your attention, please?
Welcome to Real Gaijin, unveiling the real Japan, an American expat's inside look. Now it's time for another story from the Read My Lips series of podcasts. Summarized podcast.
We are live again. It's Mark Kennedy. I'm the host of the Real Gaijin Substack and AMA Ask Me Anything podcast. Today we have yet another special guest, Mr. Tiby Kuruvila. Tiby, you want to briefly say hello?
Hi, all. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. That's right. It's morning here in Japan. I know it's late in the day in London, and it's the middle of the night in India if we have any visitors from India today. So thank you for joining us. We are going to learn all about how this fellow foreigner, or real gaijin, in Japan, who's been here for about 25 years, got off a plane with no knowledge of Japanese, no connections, nothing, and has built a very successful career and is now the CTO, or Chief Technology Officer, of a company called Postas, which is specializing in point of sale technology. So we're going to learn all about that. Please keep in mind this is an Ask Me Anything podcast, which means you can use that chat functionality to ask our guest Tibi anything you want about his whole experience in Japan or anything else related to his life. Plus, we will be getting out the recorded version of this podcast within 24, 36 hours. Give me a little bit of time and I'll get that done for you. All right, let's jump right into it. Tibi, please introduce yourself and tell us why Japan? How did you get here?
Hi, Mark. Thanks. Thanks for having me. Like you said, I am from India, especially the deep south part of India. It's almost
Mm,
like our Okinawa. It's called a place called Kerala. So when I first landed in Japan in 1999, even before Y2K, people are talking about scary Y2K problems. Fortunately, it didn't affect us. There was no idea about how Japan is, even though we had some history classes about how Tokyo came back from the World War II and how they become the
mm,
consumer electronics hub. But when I reached here, the first thing I noticed is like I mentioned in our blogs, a lot of electrical wires. Something like I seen in my old giant robot movies. Then I was placed in a remote area, Tochigi, from a land like India where summer is peak and it is directly coming to a snowy area in Tochigi, Nasu. It was a kind of exciting experience because seeing the snow first time. Then the biggest challenging part is like food was totally challenging. India is a land of spice. Here when we
uh,
come, yeah, I cannot see any spice, whether it is raw or it's boiled. It's a kind of confused thought process always. But the thing really like kept me in Japan is the technology was too advanced. Like
mhm,
still in India, we were using while seeing the doctors, the prescription or the diagnosis details, everything is documented or handwritten. Here we were doing a research for secondary diagnosis over a web system. Like the doctor want to see something in a remote area by analyzing a web stream and marking the area of interest. So I felt, wow, these guys are living in maybe 20 years ahead of technology kind of thought process. So that is one point which struck me, even though the food, the climate, and the communication, everything was in a bad shape. That's about how I reached in Japan and what was my first assignment. Then
uh,
from there, I thought it's actually the first time, but you know, Japan was actually calling me back again and again. After 87 days, I was typically running back to India. But again, the next assignment come, the next assignment comes. So it's kind of countless assignments back to Japan. And the one which really helped me to stay long is in the assignment in Tokyo. That was with NDT Electronics, that's a kind of R&D company. They were doing products. So it's given me a lot of experience in product development area, how the planning is happening in Japan, how they are investing in the Japanese craftsmanship kind of precision, where they are focusing the technology. So that was really a nice experience. And I could get a lot of friends around that area because it's Tokyo. So yeah, it's a kind of continue for a long time. Then I moved to an American company, like to know how the big American giants function. So and right now here, after I won't say it's a 25, it's maybe 26 plus years traveling through IT service in India, product development of Japanese companies and big American giants. Then I started my own two deep tech plus one service companies. Now working as a CTO of Postas. We help restaurants, clinics, and big retail companies to do the point of sale solution, taking everything to the cloud so they can manage without devices, without heavy equipments. That's about me. I'm really excited to be here. So you can ask me anything.
Okay, very good.
Over to you,
Yeah,
Mark.
please, in the chat, please use the chat to ask anything you want up to be. So I'm going to start though. Tell us, what does it mean to be a chief technology officer, and specifically at your firm, Postus? What exactly are you doing?
POS is actually one of the leading point of sale service company in Japan. So when I joined there, my dream was like I can see a lot of data is there. So right now, if you look at the POS or any POS system, they are talking about the past data, like what happened yesterday, or
Mm,
maybe how many sales done, or who ordered what, or maybe how many Asahi beers already sold. But I feel in next 5 years that is going to change. That may be something like the POS system. The word may not be there. Instead of that, it should be a secondary brain for shop owners. It should act like
mhm,
instead of what happened yesterday, it should come and tell, hey TB, tomorrow there will be more demand for Kirin Ichiban, or tomorrow
mhm.
there will be more demand for like Gyutan. So, and it should be in the natural communications way. It should not be someone has to look into the dashboard, because if you look at, I mean, most of the customers are from restaurant area, so they don't have to look into the technical dashboard. We cannot expect everyone should be the tech savvy. Instead of that, it comes to the natural way. Someone has to call and talk to the person like a human being, real human being. So AI
Uh,
is grown into that area. So look
uh,
into the past data, predict, and ensure that it supports the shop owners by intelligence, not providing the past data. And plus, and so I am creating the path to that goal right now in Postus,
ah,
being the CTO.
I see. So, is your firm Postus selling both the hardware and then the software to ultimately incorporate AI and provide demand management,
Right.
for example?
Uh, we are not, yes, we are selling the hardware, but it is not our own product. We are just getting
Hmm.
the hardware from big vendors and providing along with, because the cash machines or the equipments for payments, or maybe like the printer, etc., needed for a current POS system. So we are collecting, or we are engaging with the different vendors and delivering that. But our core area is the software technology for the POS.
Ah,
And yes,
okay.
we will be incorporating AI, so that will be become as a secondary brain for all shop owners. And in future, I feel it will become the nervous system, or maybe an operating system for shops. Not only the cash handling, it should handle
Mm,
the purchase, it should handle the inventory, it should handle the
mm,
resource management, staff management. So, and it should
uh,
be intelligent system, like a proactive system. So that's where I am driving my vision.
yeah, no, that sounds great. Say, give us a sense among Japanese small to medium-sized SMEs. How many have adopted a point of sale system, or are they still doing a lot of things by hand or even by fax?
If you classify, I mean, SMEs also, like if you classify the remote sections or Kansai Kanto areas, so those are in Kansai and the areas. It's almost like open to technologies because the competitions and survival thing of things. But in remote areas, it may not be needed. So that is
Mhm.
still, if you ask me, like around 55-60% of companies.
Oh, that's
I
it.
mean, not all. They are not into the complete POS system. They are maybe somewhere we using right now, maybe the PayPay kind of QR code
Ah,
systems or small thing.
mhm.
But the complete entire system maybe less than 50%.
Oh, okay. So, especially considering how advanced your own country is, even the smallest street vendors are using electronic payment systems. It's just shocking to go to Japan. They have to use cash for everything. I mean, what's the how long is this going to take to complete this digital
Yeah,
transformation here?
yeah, that's actually, if you look at how it came, uh, in India, we had a note ban. So we forced to go to like a QR kind. Then once it was survival, then it's become the convenience. So if you look into how the work from home culture started in Japan
Mm,
during Corona time, before Corona, I never heard about the work from home kind of thing in Japanese
right.
industry,
Exactly.
but it was a survival requirement. So when it becomes survival requirement, people start to adopt it. So I think it is starting in Japan even right now because most of the people are carrying QR code based payments, electronic
True.
like Suica, Passmo, etc. So yeah, maybe the customers will come and ask, "Do you accept Suica? Do you accept QR code?" So automatically people, oh, most of the people are carrying this kind of technology stuff. So let me also a company where or a shop where I can accept all those things. So it will come. It's become the part of survival.
Okay. And
That's
now
my
this might
thinking.
be getting well. Okay. Well, that's very important because you're on the front line. This might be too much in the weeds or in the details here, but the JAN code, JAN code system for barcodes still seems to be prevalent here rather than full adoption of QR codes or some sort of a more advanced code. Is that holding you back?
No. Jan code is
Okay.
actually for the retail kind of systems. For the retail industry, so every product has a unique Jan code that not only in Japan but everywhere in the world we have
Oh,
that system. But the restaurant case, we cannot ensure that the Jan code is needed because the butter chicken created by restaurant one and the butter chicken created by restaurant two is having different flavor, different items. So we cannot make a unified ID for that one. So that is one of the challenge in the restaurant industry when we are talking about the
uh,
POS.
Okay. And hey, by the way, of course, for a restaurant that already has implemented QR codes for asking their customers to order that way, or like if you go to a kaiten sushi place where you're ordering on a touchscreen, I can understand getting the data must be relatively easy. But what about restaurants that still do it the old-fashioned way and have somebody write down an order? How does that information then get translated into the system?
Uh, there are restaurants which is 100% using paper system. So there is no way for them to collect the data. But some system they still feel that restaurant industry is a kind of service industry. When the customer is there, we have to go there because Japan is very famous for its service nature. So we go there and we have to greet them. We have to collect the order. That's a kind of personal touch. So even though they are collecting through paper, they have the backend system where the data will go and they are collecting it. So that is also happening.
Oh. So somebody's transferring those paper receipts.
Yeah, while they are putting there on the, like, say, for example, if I ordered for or like some kind of ramen or something, when I put that order in kitchen area, they are like the kitchen staff or the some person is putting their okay ramen is preparing that kind of stuff. So automatically we
Mhm.
have see we have a count, but we don't have the huge number of information like whether the customer was men or women or kids or like how they did the
Ah,
payment, etc. That is not happening,
ah,
but they have some kind of data.
okay. Oh, all right. That's interesting. And then let's get back to what you're focused on, which is taking all of this information and changing it into true business intelligence. And I assume you're using AI to do this?
Yes, exactly. I'm deep into the AI basically. I'm a kind of techie person, so I like to explore new things. So we are using AI inside our company, and even I am giving kind of mentorship on training to some kind of board members, CXOs, or startup companies to use AI. Yes, I'm widely using AI for that area. But if you, yeah,
Mhm.
please.
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I mean, once again, this is also an area I'm not an expert in, but I know just enough to be dangerous here. Are you, is your solution for restaurants, your clients, cloud-based AI systems, or would this be like proprietary systems?
Yeah, right now our systems are cloud based. We are the
Oh,
leading cloud POS system. So the
okay.
AI actually we have in, I mean, it's in our roadmap. So I cannot completely open what we are going to talk,
Ah,
especially inside the company. But the outside sections, we are like, if you look into Japan, there are areas, a lot of areas where AI can be widely used. One thing is the support systems. Uh, Japan is very famous for its support systems, customer engagement kind of things. That still they have a lot of paperwork. We can easily switch that into AI. And
mhm.
people, it's not the glamorous area, but it's a real use case. Then if you look into the back office system, like invoices,
Yeah.
inventories, that also you can simply, because it's a repetitive task, you can use AI for that one. But no one notices that because it's not the glamour area, it's not in the slide.
Okay. Well, but that's interesting. And I imagine on both of those cases, you could develop absolute metrics on return on investment and so forth.
Exactly.
Ah,
Exactly. And if you just look into the one big area which is going to the, especially if a Japanese company is going to global market or global company is entering to Japan, the native level translation is now you can use AI.
oh, well,
Before
yes. Okay.
before it
Sure.
was very difficult.
That's right. It helps a lot with language. And then, for example, I know you're the CTO, but for the salespeople on your team at Postas, how do they approach a restaurant that's doing nothing? I mean, what's the first like low hanging fruit that you would go after?
I mean, that's actually the sales team's job. But if I'm playing that role, I personally feel the requirement of data and how they can optimize the restaurant operation. That should be my secret sauce to the ownership, honest. I mean, right now
Okay.
they may feel that, okay, I don't need that, but I have to convince them Japan is heading to an area where we will be facing shortage of laborers and
Ah,
we need to be optimized to, to survive during that time. And
sure.
without losing something, we'll be opening all the data for you and the system will guide you how you can become more profitable by using the same sales
Ah,
by forecasting the things. Just look at like the number of inbounds in Japan. It reaches almost 42 million. So if you do a
sure.
small analysis, the payment or the purchase capacity, the amount they are paying while they are visiting Japan, because they want to explore the Japanese cuisine, they want to try the Japanese food. So what is happening is that they spend more. So you need
Mm,
to be
mm,
globalized. So for example,
mm,
the like you mentioned the QR code stuff.
yeah.
While in the QR code, I know what I'm going to eat because it's explaining in my own language. So it will say what is ingredients in that one. So those things we need to convince more than the technical features. We need to convince the benefit which the consumers are going to get buy through what are the benefit they
Mm.
are going to get. So I think
Oh.
that should be the best approach to reach them. And it's my personal opinion because I am not on the sales side, especially right now.
No, no, but that makes a lot of sense, and particularly I can imagine for visitors from India, many of whom are vegetarian, that would probably be very important to find out exactly what's in their food.
Exactly. And
Mm,
then real food is they want to know the history of the food, how it is started. So it looks
yes.
like kind of yeah, interesting for them to know more about. So while the food they are waiting for the food, they may be engaged more. So we need to convince the story, which is they haven't seen that world yet. So we have to show them like there are opportunities. Like don't worry about the small support fee or something which you're paying. Instead of that, think about the new opening this technology can bring to them.
Yeah. Okay, well, that makes sense. You alluded to this just a minute ago about the impending or current labor shortages facing, particularly the restaurant industry. I mean, what are some of the other challenges that your solution can help solve? I mean, for example, as it relates to labor shortage, I imagine your technology can help them plan when they need to have somebody on staff, for example.
Exactly. So that's in our roadmap only. We'll be bringing, because collecting the data, it's in our roadmap, but we'll be bringing that. But like about what all those things, yes, we can handle labor shortage. The reason is like you mentioned, instead of the people are going and collecting the order, we need n number of people. Instead of that, we can the QR code so the customer can order itself. So maybe I will be calling the like waiter, say I need to order again. Instead of that, can the time between two orders can be shortened because the QR code is
Ooh.
there. I don't need to wait for someone to come and place my order. So the same seat can generate more revenue.
Okay, that's a good basic example of how you can leverage the technology.
Exactly.
Ah,
And for the customer's viewpoint, yeah, I'm getting the stuff in time, so I don't need to wait. And I
mm,
know what I'm going to order, and I know how much I ordered, and what is the payment. So everything I know in. So it's a kind of the information which was already there, but we make it visible and easily usable.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, another classic example that I can think of, and you can verify, would be, for example, a restaurant, maybe a Chinese restaurant that has a million different things on the menu, but I'm wondering, do they really know what's selling? And sales analysis, for example.
They may have the sales data, maybe the number of chahan or the number of gyoza, that kind of information. But they may need more data so that can predict them like
Mm,
what all things they're going mix with gyoza. So there will be a paired
yeah.
selling as well. If maybe, I mean,
Mm,
karage and beer may go together, or
ah,
that kind of information, we they need
ah.
different analysis.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah, it's so basic when you think about it, when you hear about it, but it actually, would be a blind spot, I imagine, for many restaurant owners. What other kinds of data are collected besides the actual sales per unit of a product? I mean, you mentioned before about gender of the customer. What other kinds of information are typically collected?
That depends upon each shop, and if they want to know more informations by like the QR code kind of order system, they can collect the data. That's the data ownership and the policies completely belong to the consumer. I mean the customer.
Yeah.
So we won't say we need all this much data. What we will say that minimum post data will be there. That's the only thing. Like the order ID, order details, and the payment is fine. We don't need to have the
Yeah.
personal data.
Mhm.
So the personal data handling need to be very careful because we cannot advertise to the people without their permission, etc. You know, the Japan, the personal law is
Ah,
very very strict.
yes, yeah.
So,
Mm.
but we have collecting enough data for creating the intelligence. That's enough.
I see. And then, hey, by the way, for example, when let's say a restaurant negotiates with a payment provider like a Visa or a MasterCard, having the data of their own sales, all of the point of sales information, is that something that the card companies want as well?
I think that will help them. I mean, the card companies, they already have the data because
Then,
all the
okay.
transactions going
Yeah.
through their payment gateway, they know like
Mhm.
from this company how much or how many transaction per card is happening. All those things they have. But
Okay.
these customers, I mean, the customers will can negotiate better, saying that okay, I am generating it's a man. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of revenue through this card, so I need lower rate, etc. So that
Right.
all depends
Right.
upon. It's a kind of business question. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Well, that makes sense too.
how do they use their data depends upon them.
Okay. Good. Also, a quick shout out to everyone who's live. We have several people that have joined us, so thank you. Please use your chat to ask anything you want about Postas, about point of sale systems, restaurant business, whatever of to be. All right, I have another question. Um, let's go back to SMEs, so small to medium sized enterprises in Japan. You mentioned a few minutes ago that, of course, it's inevitable that the adoption of this technology is going to happen, but it's still going to take a little bit of more time, maybe a crisis like COVID, for example. But what are the things that are holding back SMEs from adopting this technology? Why wouldn't they just go all in right now?
I think, Mark, in Japan, some decisions are slow. And Japan, it's not the product, it's a trust which is selling.
Ah,
That's the thing. So even though right now a lot of the people are talking about AI,
yeah.
instead of the better product, the one with the better trust will win, because Japan is like that. Like we used to say, the first sales cycle may take around 12 months to maybe 15 months. But once you have it, it's a lifelong deposit.
Well,
That's
yes,
that
yes.
that's the beauty of Japan. But so most of the foreign companies who are entering in Japan facing one big challenge, they may coming with a 90 days action plan or maybe 180 days action plans. But they
Right.
have to learn that these won't work in Japan. You need to have the runway for a long time, especially you need something with a trusted partner. After that, once you have that business, yes, they trusted you. Because of trust, they won't lose you for easily. You have to continue. So earning trust is the best thing. So for that, SMEs, they learn that process. Maybe it took years to learn. So till like some of the order system using faxes, till like no, there is like payment slips are there. So all those things are happening even now on the back end, back office work. But people know that there are technology available for that. Even SMEs are knowing that one. But they already trust the current process. So the new technology has to earn the trust. Then only they will migrate it. But it will come eventually, because in Japan around 3.5 million SMEs, and 60% of owners are 60 plus.
Ooh.
And
Whoa.
many have no successor kind of thing
Yeah, yeah,
happening in
right.
Japan, and they may face a big shortage in future, especially labor shortage. So IT become the survival fitness, or they have to adopt the
Ah,
technology to run the business. When something become the luxury, from changing the status from the luxury to survival, automatically it will go for that digitalization. That's what I feel. And if you look like maybe right now, with AI, a three people company can provide something we did in past with the 30 people.
oh, whoa. Well, that's a major productivity improvement. Yeah, I guess, well, you've spent over a quarter century in Japan, and I've learned that lesson very well, that it's all comes down to trust. I mean, as a typical Westerner, listening to you and thinking about your technology, I would say, wow, just show them the ROI that's possible here. This is like a no-brainer to implement, and yet, no, that's not the case.
I
You
mean,
need the long-term relation.
ROI will be, I mean, it looks nice in the presentation, but especially in Japan, you need that trust factor.
Yeah, yeah. So word of mouth, I imagine, is very
Yeah,
important here too.
context. Yeah.
Ah, okay. And yeah, you mentioned a second ago about the lack of succession planning, particularly in the restaurant industry, food and beverage industry. This is going to become a crisis soon. Uh, what do you see a lot of consolidation among your customers at this point?
Actually, I'm not saying that kind of construction only in restaurant area. The amount which I mentioned, 3.5 million, is generic SMEs, not only restaurant.
Oh, well, that's true. Yes. Okay. But still, it's got to be a pretty large percentage of those 3.5 million businesses.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, haven't seen that level of consolidation right now. Maybe they will.
Yes. Okay. Well, that might be good for you. All right. And then let's pivot just a little bit. I'm curious. I mean, certainly you're coming from the land of IT and certainly, particularly back office, but I know that India is rapidly moving to the forefront on all sorts of IT levels. How have you been able to leverage your connections back in India with the business here in Japan at Postas?
Right now, I'm not directly engaging any Indian uh, technology
Oh,
imposters, but yes, I have few Indian staffs which I took personally handpicked to boost my R&D use cases.
okay. All right.
Because
All right.
what I see the difference is India for me, I feel it's a speed. Japan, I feel the zero defects. perfect uh, quality.
Ah,
But I feel if you can combine both an Indian speed with the Japanese quality, it will really bring the magic. So then
interesting.
that's one thing I've comparing when I comparing with India and Japan. And the big difference I feel is like engineering. India always think ship fast, but in Japan review twice. That's a simple words. In India, the innovation first thinking about scaling because of huge population and the market size is big. So we think
Yeah,
about scale. But in Japan, it think about the made in Japanese quality, the craftsmanship kind of things they are putting. In India, the decision may be, or the product owner may took the call and yeah, let's start now. Decision is quick. But in Japan, the nemawashi. And
yeah.
in Japan cases, like one big plus point is once we have the decision, everyone will row to the same direction in same speed, so it will take off. So that is a big difference I feel in approaching a market entry or approaching a product. So what I learn is in India can little put little more in learning in depth and providing quality. Japan can learn how we can achieve the speed. In simple way, if Indian speed married to Japanese quality, wow, no one can
Mm.
stop them.
Yeah, no, that's a great perspective. And this might be more of a question for your sales team, but let's assume you've got an SME restaurant owner, maybe multiple restaurants in a small chain, and the owner is older, let's say in his mid 60s, and probably a man, I'm guessing. But you're having a little difficulty selling the technology. In order to get the buy-in, do you often try to recruit members on that type of target customer from the front lines, like let's say a manager of one of the branches of the restaurant chain? Or how do you go about doing the uh, nemawashi at the lower levels in order to, have the decision to choose the new technology percolate up from the bottom?
That's a sales question, but let me try.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
I mean, right now in Postas, I am not directly actively in sales, but I mean, like I mentioned, I have two previous deep tech startups. So during
Yes.
that
Oh, yes.
time, what we did is like we have to convince what they are losing and without adopting the technology, where the competitors are heading. So if they have this technology, what all the benefits they can. So
Yeah.
in my previous company, what we did is location-based analysis. So you just that was doing for events, big technical conference, etc. And identifying the location of the visitor based on the path he is taking, based on the time he spent in each booth, we can say that okay, this person is looking for something in AI, or this person is
Whoa.
something in looking in fintech. So what we convinced our consumers, like say our direct customers, that yeah, right now we know like 100 people are inside the event hall, but you don't know what these 100 people are looking for. But our technology can tell you out of that 100 people, 10 people are looking for financial solutions, 5 people are looking for CRM solutions, maybe 5 are looking for just kind of window shopping kind of attitude. So you should know your customer, where the
Yes,
value
yes.
is happening. So,
Mm.
and then we will explain how this technology is working. So it will create a kind of curiosity. Then
Sure.
it go to next step. Finally, it will come in.
Well, okay, that makes sense. And then as it relates to the restaurant industry, your primary target industry, like off the top of my head, I can think of in the restaurant business, I imagine the absolute goal is to get repeat customers. And
Exactly.
therefore, how do you do that? I mean, first you have to know who they are. And ideally, if you can identify them and contact them, like to give them coupons or whatever, some sort of incentive to come back, that would be key.
Exactly. That should be the like the it should come from the marketing budget of the consumer. I mean the my customer, I mean the restaurant owners, they have to identify the repeating customer through say kind of CRM technologies which we have right
Yeah.
now. And if we can get little more, like say for example, what is their real interest? So we can provide, we know they are repeating customer, then we know this person loves this, kind of food more, that will provide a kind of personal touch. So, for example,
Yes.
if I like a special food and if I go to that
Mhm.
restaurant repeatedly, and while I am sitting, that waiter or the support person came and say, "Hey, TB, what about today? Again, the same biryani or something kind of stuff." So I feel,
Yeah.
wow, this guy remember me. I feel,
Yeah.
oh, it's a personal touch. So
Sure.
it is possible by using technology. So you need to implement a CRM. That CRM can collect the data and it can analyze who is repeated. And maybe during my birthday or maybe birthday or that month, I may get a coupon. So I will be delighted. So whenever, I had a very good experience when I went to a restaurant. So especially family lunch. So I suddenly got a special coupon because it was your birthday month. Wow. I know it's coming from because of the technology I'm working in the back end. I know it is
Mm.
from the data, but I personally delighted.
Yeah.
So
Oh, me
that's a
too.
kind of small surprise.
Right.
It can
Mhm.
really create the brand in their mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And
So
how about point systems? Like, of course, there are like V point or D point or whatever. Does all your system interact with all those?
yes, we can.
Ah,
A system can connect. So without that, it's very difficult. Like suppose the customers want to have different kind of point system, we have to link with the different point providers, and not all restaurant can create their own point system. So they
yeah.
instead of that, they are looking for maybe Rakuten point, or they be looking for like a V point, or maybe they are looking for different kind of point system.
Sure.
So we need to support. Otherwise, we need to integrate to the different providers. Like I mentioned earlier, the hardwares, we integrate with the different hardware providers, we integrate with the different printers, so different cash vendors. So instead of similar to that, the point system also, we need to integrate with the different.
Ah, yeah. I hadn't thought of that. Okay. And then what other like not gimmicks, but tactics, for example, do restaurants use to create repeat customers besides coupons? I mean, and point systems. Are there any other things that are effective?
Basically, offline marketing and online marketing is there because sometimes if you go to like a QR code based system, sometimes it may be starting a line mini app. So
Mm,
So you can
mm.
send message to line, maybe kind of events are happening, or a special month for special kind of food. So all these kind of, along with the coupon and point, different direct marketings are happening.
Ah, yeah. I'm glad you brought up Line. So this is sort of unique to the Japanese market, right? In other words, a lot of things, particularly as it relates to restaurants, are integrated with Line. It seems.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah,
That
okay.
because you don't need to install a new application. Instead of that, there is a
Ah,
line platform is there.
mm,
You just create a mini app. So installation,
yeah.
that difficulty is less.
Yes. So you just adopt their own system for points
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
coupons.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. And wow, lots of things to think about. What about what's without giving away proprietary information? What's next? What's the next wave of technology or any particular program that we might see in the future?
I think it's already there. Like if you look, AI agents are
Mm, mm,
almost reaching to the human level right now. So right now,
mm.
how we are using is we are giving enough freedom and we are taking the decision right now. That's the way AI is working. And for the labor shortage, for the automation kind of things, like I mentioned, the simple stuff,
Mm.
two, three, like the translation work, the backend office work, the uh, support systems, etc. Right now, AI is slowly replacing with the help of humans. So the real generic agents will come in future. So that will part as a secondary support assistant for human. So it will take the work. So people can do their own industrial work. The non-interesting work can be outsourced to
Yeah.
AI agents. Something like in development kind of, if I take to the development, a coding I can delay, I can completely depend upon AI agent to do, but the
Mm,
ownership I have to take. I have to design, how to create that perfect spec, and how to instruct the AI agent to do the code for me. Instead of that,
mm,
I was doing the typing. So I don't want to do
mm.
that. So I have someone who is doing for me. It's not a interesting job for me, but the brain is still from me. The spec, everything is coming from me, but he is following my instructions. So that will widely come. That's why people are saying like, okay, three people team, five people team can do magic. And if you look at the way how Japan is also transforming right now,
Mm.
maybe you already heard about Sakana AI. It's one of the unicorn in Japan.
Yeah.
Before, like maybe 2 or 3 years back, it was very difficult to imagine a startup company reaches around $2.65 billion valuation
Wow.
in Japan. But
Mm.
so that deep tech kind of wave is coming. So I feel that will take Japan to the next level.
Mm.
Something like Japan was on the top during the consumer electronics wave, and
True.
from there it skipped to some. I mean, from the consumer when it's a IT era or internet era, it go down. Again, I feel now Japan is showing that momentum of evaluating deep technologies. So I feel they will lead in next generation. Especially AI will be going to play a huge role in that area.
Yeah, certainly, there's a lot of discussion and hype around physical AI and Japan's
Exactly.
natural prowess there. Back on your specific business, I was listening to a very interesting discussion on AI the other day about how, like, for example, when you jump to using agentic agents to do personal shopping for you, and ultimately, if they know about enough about you, you can let them actually buy stuff for you. That is where people jump to, but the point of this person was, you know, all right, that's sexy and that might happen in the future, but a much more basic thing that could be used right away, and perhaps you're already working on this, is when you have like a form, an online form to fill out your name, address, and personal information. It's such a pain to have to start from zero every single time. Whereas, why can't an AI agent just do this for me so you don't have to fill out a blank form all the time?
Exactly. Because I
Mm.
mean, one thing when we are talking about AI, the key point is data is the key point. If you give the right data, it will give you the right output. If you give a GOMI data, GOMI will come out. So
Ah,
GOMI in, GOMI out, trash in, trash out. That's the rule.
I know.
So, like you
Mm.
mentioned, I have the right data source. If I can point out, then I can ask the AI agent to fill everything for me. Then I can
Yes.
say that confirm from me. Maybe even the AI can read it loud and say that maybe I cannot look into my PC. It can read and that form one, it's a name. I written as TB, these are spells. All these things we can do with
Yeah.
AI right now. And it is
Mm.
happening. It is happening. I feel it's
Mm.
happening in Japan right now. A lot of areas
Okay.
where, like, for example, the resume filtering or maybe the application form, initial level checking, all things are happening with AI.
Okay, good. Well, I'm not surprised to hear that, but I'm sure that's on the forefront of what you're working on. Maybe in the remaining, I can't believe how much time has gone by. I want to give a brief shout out to everyone who's joined us. Please use the chat functionality in order to ask Tiby a question. He's available to answer anything you want. So ask me anything. And by the way, you don't have to identify your name. We ask for a friend, so to speak. Okay. Although I don't think we have anything to protect here. Let's pivot while we're waiting for some questions to come in. You have been a mentor to others, particularly in the startup space. What advice would you give to up and coming entrepreneurs, engineers who are interested in working, particularly here in Japan?
That's first thing I will say that you should learn how business running in Japan. Like I
Mhm.
mentioned earlier, trust factor, feature factor is very critical. And
Mhm.
you cannot compare Japan with Western or Indian style markets. In Japan, market entry is difficult. I mean, we just by translating a product won't become a Japanese product.
Yeah.
The translation should come in the cultural way. So from the day one onwards, it should be for made in Japan. Instead of that, you can focus something which the real problem which Japan is facing, like aging. It's a big problem.
Mhm.
Do you have
Mhm.
a solution in that area? Japan will easily adopt you. So
Mhm.
when you're coming with a problem which solved in different country, and when you are translating that problem to Japan, It will take some time because you need to convert completely to Japanese culture. You map that problem into Japanese problems. That's how things are different. So that's the first thing. Second one is like you need a Japanese face. You need someone who understands Japan, someone who can navigate through the Japanese culture, the sales process. That is very important while you are doing a market entry.
Mhm.
So that's the second phase I'm saying. Next one is patience. Japan needs time. Be patient in that one. Then fourth one is once you have the think about the customer satisfaction. In Japan, customer support and customer is the king. So how to think in that direction too, if you're especially into B2B business.
Yes.
And the last one is Japan is a nice place, but they have respect to time, they have respect to process, they have respect to quality. So keep that in mind. That is very
Yes.
important.
Okay, well, you've learned well, and that was succinctly put. Very good takeaways here. What about if you were giving advice to, let's go back in time 25 years to a young Tiby, or someone like Tiby 26 years ago who's thinking about living in Japan? Let's assume another person from India or from any other part of the world that might have an engineering background. Any advice you'd give to them?
Wow. Actually, that was my 25th letter to me in 25 years back. That was my LinkedIn post. How do I? So, but exactly, yeah, the question is like, if I advise to that TB in 25 years back to be say, I mean, for me, that time Japan was simply a land of technology, land of consumer products. Uh, Depends upon what you are looking for in future. If you are looking for an aggressive, high-speed growth, I will say you have to think about different country. But if you are looking for a peaceful, a systematic, quality kind of stuff, Japan is your land.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's maybe the one advice I will say. And it's safe, good, clean. And once you live in Japan, if you go to any other part of the maybe like so maybe even if it's technologically advanced or maybe more salary or anything is there, but you started to compare the Japanese life. Here, the transportations, the food quality, everything is amazing. So
Yeah.
you automatically start to come, oh, why do I change? So automatically Japan has that charm. It will pull you back to its comfort.
Yeah.
So you have to, once you have experienced that, then only you can evaluate it.
Well, I think the two of us certainly share that experience having lived in Japan for such a long
Exactly.
time. I agree. It can become very comfortable. What about, like, for example, a specific area, like we talked a little bit about physical AI and that space? It sounds like Japan would be a particularly good environment for a young engineer who's interested in physical AI. Is that true?
Yes, I think so. Because if you look at Japan, there's still a lot of factories, industries, and lot of things are happening in that direction. They are digitalized, but they haven't utilized the data. And
Uh,
still they have a lot of PDF. They have a lot of handwritten documents, which was once the Bible for the craftsmanship they shown. So
mm,
these data can really become the input for all this kind of physical AI implementations that you can come and get in Japan, learn from
yeah.
that. So I think this Japan has a huge future in physical AI, and not
Uh,
only in physical AI. If you look at the recent news, most of the AI agent companies are starting their second office in Tokyo.
oh,
And similarly, most of the big giant players, like including OpenAI, including Anthropic, or maybe the Cursor, or everyone is starting their second office in Japan because Japan has a plus point too. They see they need AI as a survival because of a human resource problem. Second one, they may try it one. Once it's consumed or the success or the trust factor is built, it's become a big consumer base or customer base for the company. So not
uh,
only the physical AI, almost all AI companies are investing in Japan right now. I can see that
Mhm.
like news daily, like say lot of news are happening. Like this company office started an office in Tokyo, or
Yeah, yeah.
this big AI giant opened second office in Tokyo, etc. So it is happening.
Mm. Yeah, and, well, plus you just mentioned this, it seems like in the West particularly, there's a lot in the news about how AI is coming for your job, and you'll be, thrown out of the street, whereas here in Japan, it's like, "No, no, we need AI to because we don't have enough people, and it'll augment existing jobs."
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
But I think that first time, like it won't kick you out. I personally feel that AI won't replace you, but the person who know how to use AI in a better way can replace you.
Ah, ah,
You
good
should
point.
treat AI like a tool with extra smart memory. He knows a lot of things, but there is no much brain. So you have to learn how to use that super brain. Then you become the master. So it's not AI. It's the person who know how to use AI may replace you.
Yes, okay, well, that's a very interesting comment because a guest a couple of times ago said basically the same thing, and, very interesting, very interesting. Okay. Well, good. All right. Just one more brief shout out to everyone that's still online here. So thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, now is the time. Otherwise, we're going to let Tiby get on with his day because it's almost 9 o'clock and ready to go in Japan. But thank you very much, Tiby, for joining us. I learned quite a bit, and I'm curious your future plans as a closeout here. Are you planning to stay in your comfortable life in Japan or go somewhere else?
Yeah. So for now, only Japan in my dream. So
Okay.
if you ask me now, it's Japan. Maybe we don't
Yeah.
know the future. Maybe after 10 years, I don't know. But right now in
Yeah.
Japan.
All right. Well, hey, I'm with you on that. I've decided to plant myself here too permanently. So that sounds good. Well, thank you, Tibi. I appreciate all of this insight, and thank you for everyone who joined us. We will get the recording out within 24, 36 hours, and I'll try and pull some key takeaways. There were a lot of key takeaways, and I appreciate particularly your numerical list of suggestions. So that was very key. Um, I will look forward to keeping tabs on your development. And would you like to close out and say anything to our listeners?
Yeah. First of all, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. So, yeah, that's, I mean, for this last 26 plus years experience, I thought, what do I learned? Or maybe some I failed, or some of these things that I learned through failure. Okay. So I thought if it helps anyone, I'm great. I'm really grateful to for this opportunity to explain these things, especially some of the tips. When I first came, I also thought like, okay, in 3 months I can close this business. Then I came that another 3 months. So that's kind
Mm.
of learning experience. So I feel it will be helpful to someone who are listening. Thank you again,
Yes.
Mark, and thank you the people who joined there. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay, great. So I will also put links to Tibi. So, for example, his company and also LinkedIn in the final write up. So you can reach out to him directly if you have any further questions. All right. We will say goodbye for now. Have a great day, Tibi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
お疲れ様でした。
Thanks for watching and or listening to another story from the Read My Lips series of podcasts on Real Gaijin. Tell us what you think and be sure to tune in again next time.
Woo!